Hi, Anna. What's the problem?
Oh, Ben, I've just got a text from my dad, and he told me that my history homework has to be in tomorrow. I completely forgot about it.
Ah, yes, I see.
And I've just had a big argument with Veronica. She always says stupid things, so I'm never going to speak to her again.
Yes, I see.
And I've just spoken to my mum. I need money to go to the cinema tomorrow because I haven't got any, but she said no. Can you believe it? Because the kitchen is in a big mess because I cooked a big breakfast for myself this morning, and now she's angry with me. My parents are so...
I see.
Why are you always saying I see?
Well, I've just read an article. It's about all the things that teenagers should learn, but don't.
Like what? What's this got to do with all my problems?
Well, you know how we concentrate on lots of stuff in school, like geography or science or history.
Oh, don't talk to me about history.
But there are things we don't concentrate on. For example, the article said that when you're a teenager, you should learn how to use time. You know, when we have to do things and how much time we have and what is important to do now and what isn't.
Like remembering when our homework needs to be in?
Yeah, usually we wait for our parents to tell us. Lots of teenagers don't learn that.
What else did the article say?
Lots of things. Like teenagers should learn about money. Lots of teens just get money from their parents, so they don't really know how to use it. And teenagers often have problems with other people. Maybe we have fights with people we know, but we don't know how to make things better.
I suppose you're right. Mum's always telling me I should learn to do housework. We don't learn that in school.
Well, maybe housework isn't the most important thing, but we don't learn about life's ups and downs or what to do when our life goes wrong.
Yeah, just history and stuff. Maybe I should read that article and not do my homework.
No, do your homework and then I'll give you the article.
The loneliest schoolboy in Britain. Imagine a school where you are the only student, where you come first in every test. Welcome to the life of 10-year-old Aaron Anderson, who goes to school in Outskerries, a group of small remote islands in Scotland. Aaron has been the only boy at his school for 2 months. The Outskerries Islands, which are around 280 kilometres from the coast of Scotland, are home to about 70 people. The nearest town is Lerwick, on the Shetland Islands. You can only get there by boat, and it takes 2.5 hours. Apart from Aaron's school, there are 2 shops, a church, and a community hall on the islands. Aaron isn't the only child on the islands, and he hasn't always been the only student at the school. Until July, there were several other children there, including Aaron's 2 brothers. But now they are older, so they go to the secondary school in Lerwick. They only go back to their homes at the weekend. Aaron has been the only student since September. The school is very small. It has 2 classrooms, an art room, a music room, and a library. Each week, Aaron studies maths, English, science, and art with the same teacher. She also gives him PE lessons. This is usually an hour-long walk around the islands. He also has the school playground all to himself. Of course, there is one problem. He has no one to play with. What's more, Aaron's education isn't cheap. It costs the UK government £75,357 each year. That is twice the price it costs parents to send a child to Britain's most famous private school, Eton. Some people want to close down the school. They think it is too much money to spend on one child's education. Aaron has lived in Outskerries since he was born and loves the outdoor life. He enjoys exploring the islands on his bike and diving into the sea from the pier. Like most boys his age, he also likes watching TV and playing on his games console. But his mother, who works in one of the shops on the islands, is worried that Aaron might get lonely. She would like to see more families with children coming to live there. A lot of people have moved away since the local salmon factory closed 10 years ago. That's why there are so few children on the islands, and why Aaron has found himself being known as the loneliest schoolboy in Britain.
The power of yet. Does life sometimes seem to be full of impossible problems? How many times, for example, do you find yourself saying things like, "I really don't understand this maths problem," or "I can't get into the school team"? Well, maybe it's time to introduce yourself to the power of yet. By adding this simple word, you can change everything. I really don't understand this maths problem yet. I can't get into the school team yet. Suddenly, the impossible becomes possible. You can imagine those things happening. I read about a school that has changed the way it marks its students' exams. The school recognized that the old pass-fail system wasn't helping student motivation. If you passed, then great. But those students who didn't pass often felt like failures. So now students who don't get the score they need to pass don't see a big red F for fail on their exam papers. They see a not yet instead. That way, the students feel that they are on a journey. They haven't reached the end, but they know that they are going the right way. This kind of thinking is part of what experts call having a growth mindset. People with a growth mindset don't concentrate on failure. They aren't worried by not getting things right the first time and are happy to keep trying until they do. They enjoy the challenge and believe they can change. In contrast, people who just focus on the failure have what the experts call a fixed mindset. These people are always worried about failure and are happy to give up when things don't go right. They don't think that they are able to change. Clearly, it is better to have a growth mindset than a fixed mindset. But don't worry if you think that you have a fixed mindset. You can train yourself to develop a growth mindset. Remember that it all starts with questioning the things you believe about yourself. Stop believing that you can't or you haven't and realize that you just can't or haven't yet. Once you start doing this, you'll wonder why you didn't do it before. It's one small but very powerful word.
Schools with a difference. Every year, Bangladesh is hit by heavy rains which cause large floods across the country. At these times, life becomes difficult for millions of people who have no electricity or clean water. Many schools in these areas are forced to close. Shidulais Sangster is a charity which has provided education to more than 70,000 children with their floating schools since 2002. Each morning, a school boat picks up children from nearby villages, and when every child is on board, lessons can begin. In some of the lessons, children learn about climate change and about protecting the environment. The charity has around 100 solar-powered boats, and each one is fitted with a small library, a computer, and internet access. The teachers also teach adults how to use the computers. Each year, more than 4,000 of India's poorest children get their education on the platforms of the country's railway stations. The idea for the train platform school came from a teacher called Inderjeet Khurana. She wanted to do something for the children she met begging on the train she took to work each morning. She knew that without education, these children had no hope for their futures, and in 1985, she set up the first school, and the school still exists today. Music and drama are among the methods used to teach the children how to read and write. When the children are ready, they can transfer to a full-time school. The schools also provide the children with food and medicine when it is needed. You won't find any books at the West Philadelphia's School of the Future in the US. Instead, all students have their own computers and learn on specially designed apps. Teachers don't use traditional whiteboards, they use high-tech smartboards. When the school opened in 2006, both the teachers and the students found it difficult. They didn't know how to use all the technology. Since then, the school has improved, and these days, students get high marks in maths and reading, making it a very popular school with parents. The people who started the school hope that other schools will follow their example.
Look at the 6 sentences. You will hear 2 friends, a boy, Robin, and a girl, Anna, talking about a school trip abroad. Decide if each sentence is correct or incorrect. Write T, true, or F, false.
Hi, Anna. I haven't seen you for some time. Where have you been?
Didn't I tell you? My class went on a school trip to France last month. I've been practicing my French a lot, so I hope I'm going to pass the next exam we have.
Lucky you. My school isn't organising anything this year, but we'll definitely go on an exchange programme to Greece next year. That's what my teacher told us anyway. So how was the trip?
It was pretty good. We all stayed with a different French family, with a girl or boy the same age as us. And we went to their school, or did different activities with the class and the family at weekends.
Sounds great. What was the family like?
They were really friendly, and the girl my age, Chantal, was pretty cool. She likes the same kind of music and clothes as me, so we just shared our stuff while I was there. At first, I felt a bit shy and embarrassed because my French wasn't that good, and I found it difficult to communicate with everyone. But I soon got better at speaking it, and everything became easier.
That's normal, isn't it? It's great you had to speak and listen all the time. My teacher says that's the best way to learn a language. So, did you visit any nice places or do anything interesting?
We did. One weekend, I went skiing with my host family and Chantal. I've never been skiing before, so it was quite hard. But by Sunday, I could get up every time I fell over and start again. Oh, and we went to Paris, of course. It's such a beautiful city, but it's got so much to see. It's almost too amazing. We needed to stay for 3 days to really see everything, but we only had a Saturday and Sunday.
Wow, it all sounds fantastic. So you didn't miss home then?
Well, it wasn't easy to adapt to the food and eating times there. They eat later in the day than we do, and I was really hungry sometimes, especially at 12, when we normally have lunch. And I miss my little sister, and all my friends, like you, of course.
Yeah, right. Well, I hope we get a school trip now I know about yours.
Look at the 6 sentences for this part. You will hear a conversation between 2 friends, a boy, Theo, and a girl, Maddie, about their school. Decide if each sentence is correct or incorrect. Write T, true, or F, false.
Hi, Maddie.
Hi, Theo. How are you doing? So, what do you think of your new secondary school?
Well, it's only my 3rd week at my new school, and I love it already. And even better, today's Friday, the best day of the week at Central High.
Why's that?
Well, my first class on Friday is music. I'm learning to play the trumpet this year, and I love it. I practice every lunchtime in the music room because I'm not very good at the moment. I make a terrible noise.
And what about other subjects like maths?
Well, we have a maths exam next month, but I'm quite good at maths, so I don't think I'll fail it. I'll revise a lot for the exam, though. After maths, we have English. It's probably my favourite subject. I'm looking forward to my English class. We're doing a project called A Day at Central High School for the school website. It's very quiet in class at the moment and everyone's behaving because we're all writing our projects.
Oh, nice. We're reading Shakespeare's Julius Caesar in English. It's a fantastic play. So, do you do sports too?
Yes, we do sport regularly. I'm in the rugby team, so I've got practice this afternoon for the match tomorrow. Mr. Fleming, the PE teacher, often shouts. But we're brilliant at rugby, actually. We often win the school's cup. What about you? Do you play sport at your school?
Well, yes we do, but on Wednesdays. I enjoy our timetable, as on Friday afternoons we can choose our classes. So this term, I'm doing food technology. We make some fantastic dishes. Spaghetti bolognese, chocolate cake, biscuits.
A couple of years ago, I was working on a project about journeys for a magazine. And then I heard about the amazing journeys some kids make on their way to school. Some are really dangerous. After I had taken the first photo, I decided to find out a little bit more about the kids and where they went to school. The first one I took in the Philippines, and it was early in the school year. I had heard about children crossing a fast river to get to school, but seeing it was completely different. The children are very young and go to the primary school in the village. I'm not sure where they will go to school when they are secondary school age. One boy was very small, and he looked so scared as he crossed the river with his brother. I think he was in year 1, so age 6. I wonder what qualifications these children will end up getting and what jobs they'd like to do. In the next picture, I was doing a trek in the Sichuan province in southern China when I noticed some children ahead of me. They were climbing up ladders that went straight up the mountain. I had heard that the ladders were made of wood before, but now they are made of steel and so they are safer. The children attend a school which is on the other side of the mountain. Fortunately, the children can live at the boarding school, and so they don't have to do this journey every day. The children and their parents will want them to do well and to go on to university and get a degree. And in this last picture, I was in Kashmir, India, staying with my friend. We had been undergraduates together at the University of Cambridge. Anyhow, it had been raining a lot. The children had 2 more weeks before they broke up for the holidays, but they had exams, so they had to get to school. One young teen I spoke to afterwards thought he had done badly in his exams. The children were so keen to get to school. It seems that education is a priority for this community.
Classrooms around the world. Last month on Teacher Web, we asked you to tell us about the most interesting classrooms you've ever taught in. We received hundreds of replies from teachers around the world. Here is a selection of our favourite stories. Jack.
When I was looking for somewhere to teach English as a foreign language, I decided to apply for a school that was far away. However, this place was definitely further than I had imagined, and I never thought that a school classroom could be in a cave. It was a really unusual place to have a school. The families of a Chinese village had built the school, known as Middle Cave Elementary School, in the cave about 50 years before. They had transported the materials for the school furniture up the mountain. It took days, and then they made the tables and chairs by hand. Children come from many different places around the area and walk up a stone path to reach the school every day. I arrived at the school in early April to teach English conversation, and I helped the music teacher. There were always 2 teachers, which I enjoyed. Having these lessons in a cave was incredible because of the sound produced inside caves. The classroom made music by itself.
Katie.
I wasn't sure what to do in the summer after I left school and before I went to university. Then I found out by accident about a teaching program in Samoa for 3 months. I'd never worked with children before, so I was a bit nervous. But when I walked into the classroom, the children were so welcoming. Our classroom was fairly ordinary, with desks and a blackboard. There were hardly any computers, but the walls were covered with colourful pictures and writing, mostly in English. I had an amazing time at the school, helping the class teacher and teaching some classes myself. The teacher had the most beautiful wooden chair that her grandfather had made for her by hand to celebrate her first job. It was a very different school to the one that I'd attended back home. I thought that the children all worked really hard, and they mostly did well in their exams.
Georgie.
I had a very special experience when I went to this school in Cuba a few years ago. 3 years earlier, the parents and teachers had built several outdoor classrooms for the summer terms. They had spent a lot of time talking about the design of the classrooms, and eventually they decided to have lots of different classroom areas. There was a classroom in the vegetable garden, there was another one surrounded by trees, and there was even a classroom in a rose garden. Although there were a couple of sunflowers that someone had planted by mistake. The parents had put a lot of effort into making their children's learning a good experience. I think the children enjoyed it because they didn't feel as if they were in a classroom. However, I was teaching maths, and I found I missed having a whiteboard.
Illusions everywhere. Optical illusions often use light, colour and patterns to trick our brains into seeing something that isn't there. The ancient Greeks studied them over 2,000 years ago, yet scientists still don't completely understand how they work. One explanation is that our brains are trying to understand so much information that they have to make guesses about some of it. Optical illusions happen when these guesses are wrong. They might seem like only fun puzzles, but optical illusions have practical uses too. Here are some everyday examples, from advertising and nature to restaurants and on the roads. In advertising, optical illusions are useful to get people to pay attention. Look at this picture by Akiyoshi Kitaoka, a Japanese professor of psychology. Kitaoka created it while he was making a New Year's card for his family and friends. The picture was later used in a car advertisement. Can you guess why? On roads, several countries have used optical illusions to encourage people to drive more safely. For instance, these pedestrian crossings were painted on roads in China. From a distance, they look 3D, and the research shows that this causes drivers to go more slowly near the crossings. In fashion, optical illusions are used to change our appearance. This dress was designed by the famous fashion designer Alexander McQueen. But it wasn't designed just to look good. The narrow black and white lines create an illusion, and the person appears slimmer than they are. Several celebrities bought one. In the natural world, some animals need optical illusions to stay alive. Many butterflies, snakes, and spiders are a similar colour to the place where they live. They don't want their enemies to see them and eat them. They can also use their colour to catch other animals themselves. Can you see the animal hiding in this picture? What is it? Researchers have found that one simple illusion could help us to eat and also waste less food. In experiments, the same amount of food was served on 2 plates, one small and one large. When people were asked to estimate the amount of food on each plate, they usually said the same thing. There was more food on the smaller plate. Restaurants sometimes use this trick too. If we think we are getting more food, then a meal looks better value for money.
Hey, Mum, is it okay if I borrow your alarm clock?
Yeah, you can, but please make sure you give it back to me when you don't need it anymore.
Thanks, Mum. You're the best.
Tom, can I just ask, why do you need an alarm clock? Tomorrow's Saturday.
I know, but I want to wake up and watch the sunrise.
What? Do you have any idea how early that is?
Yes, it's 5:32 tomorrow. I checked online.
Tom, are you feeling okay? Getting up early on a Saturday, this is very unlike you.
Don't worry, Mum. It's part of a challenge.
What challenge?
I've got this list, 10 things to do this summer. It's already July, so I don't have that much time left. I need to start doing some stuff.
And watching the sunrise is one of them?
Yes, it's one of the easiest.
Interesting. Can I have a look at this list?
Sure, I'll send you the link.
So, what other things are on it? Learn to help your mum in the kitchen?
Very funny, Mum. No, it's more about stuff you can do outside. Things like eat an apple straight off a tree and feed a bird from your hand.
I like the idea of this list. Anything that gets you off your computer and out into the real world, well, it must be good.
That's the idea, I think. Anyway, a few of my friends and I have decided to do it. We're having a competition to see who can finish first.
So, is there anything I can help you with?
Well, yeah, there is. Could you give me a lift to the Malvern Hills tomorrow?
The Malvern Hills?
Yeah, I need to climb a huge hill. I think they are big enough.
And you want to do this after you've got up at 5:30?
5:32, yes. Well, I might go back to bed for a few hours first, but then we could go a bit later.
And take a picnic with us. Sounds like a really good idea.
Thanks, Mum.
You get to tick things off your list, and I get to spend some time with you.
Careful, Mum. Don't spoil it.
Sorry. Forget I ever said that. Now let's go and get that alarm clock.